let's do just a little bit of real life blink boundaries. So I'm going to pop her on a lower boundary, and I'm going to have her here and her here. Now, my setup when I'm playing some real life boundaries with my dogs, my setup would certainly be far enough away from each dog. So if they don't necessarily need to be in close proximity to each other, they're far enough away, but they're also equally close enough for me to be able to sorry class, I threw that badly, so that they're close enough for me to be able to access and reward them. So when I start to do games and I start to do multi-dog, blink, come, good girl. So I might reward her for coming to me, and at the same time I would be rewarding her for staying in position. Now, you can feed to the mouth if you think that dog is appropriate on their boundary. So Classic's quite appropriate. She's not silly on her boundaries, whereas with her, because she's like ants in your pants and would like to be in a rush all the time, with her I'll cage my food. I'll wait until she backs off and I get a little bit of stillness. I then need to be ready to mouse it again. Do you see multitasking at its best here, ladies and gents? Get it? And then she can have it. So with her, I asked for a bit more stillness, a few more manners, maybe a few more even rules. Whereas with her, I actually think I can get away with less rules and less manners training, because she's actually pretty appropriate in what she's doing. So that's really, 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 really important. Blink, come. So bringing Blink off the bed, maybe even, she loves the bed, it's like a vacuum, maybe even asking her to do some fast behaviours like some spins. And you see how she vacuums back towards the bed, and she's the one that gets fed. Mainly to the bed, but I will feed to the mouth if the dog's appropriate, or if I'm losing focus from a dog, or I want more focus from a dog. So I don't mind feeding to the mouth if the dog's very, very experienced or has got good boundaries like Classic has. Whereas with Blink, she should have good boundaries. She's constantly working on them because she's a pushy little devil. So because she's a pushy type, we have to always reinforce some level of stillness, eye contact. Get it? That she's actually gonna work around those. So for me, real life boundaries kind of works like that. Now, she's actually quite noisy. I don't know if you can hear in the background. There's a lot of electric sort of work going on, and they're kind of building and stuff. When things like that are happening, I'm just going to feed them for not paying attention to the noise. So this is just a great moment to effectively do something that we call DMT. You might have seen it before. You might have used it before. Oh, I don't know why the sound might have gone. I've got no idea why sound could have gone. Hello, can you guys hear me? So anyway, that is just some of the multi-dog boundaries. Now, one of the interesting ones that I've had is I've had her being very, very, very whiny. Do you see she looks away at this point? She's been very, very whiny at times, and good girl. Yeah, that was very clever. And when she's been whiny, what I've done, instead of leaving her with the privilege of her bed, class cam, I've actually asked her to go in her crate. So I've used the crate as just another boundary when I'm somewhere like this. And if she goes to come out of the crate and she's supposed to be in the crate, I will gently close the crate door on her and then reopen to see if I can remind her that this is her boundary and this is her bed. And that is quite important. And the reason I'll do that is the raised boundaries are a privilege. So these are a privilege. So these for me are a privilege, not a right. Young lady, you're pushy. Do you see how pushy Blink is? She really is a pushy little devil. Oh, not lots of nice things. And don't think I'm giving her too much. It's just part of a dinner. So this is just part of a dinner. Get it? So she might be in there if she's been a little bit noisy, a little bit naughty, a little bit whiny. The raised comfy bed is a privilege. This one is where I pop her as actually I can put more rules here, and you can give less choice here, if that makes sense. She can see less, and I can close the door if I want to. So I've got a lot of choice really as to what she does here, whereas much less choice over here. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Oh, how funny. I need to put a sign up on the bottom of the wall saying, this is part of the poster and not mould. Sorry, it's part of the poster and not mould. Too funny. Okay, so yes, I absolutely have my dogs whilst I'm sitting in the living room, Sam, and I maybe do my emails or I may be working. I'll be honest, I don't get to watch much TV, but that's mainly because Matt and Eliza love the TV, so they get more of that. And I definitely don't feed them. So Classy, you've been a good girl, you can hop there. So I personally would be, and I'll give you an example actually, I would be maybe moving around here, so let's maybe move over this way, and I wouldn't be constantly feeding or expecting to constantly feed. That's not something that that I feel you guys need to do, and it's definitely not something I would do.